Mike's going into his second season as a head coach. Are you seeing him maybe adapt, grow as a head coach after having 1 year under his belt in that job?
Well, I see his Mike as Mike. I don't see a lot of difference in what he did in his first year. I'm sure there's things that you could ask him. I think it'd be better to speak to him on what he feels like he's changed or what he's adapted to. As far as I'm concerned, as an assistant coach, he's the same head coach that I worked for last year. He's hands-on guy. He's attention to detail. He's all the things that he was last year. As far as if he's changed, I really don't think I could answer that. I think he could be the only guy that really could answer that.
How's the defensive back unity on this team rank compared to the units you've been around throughout your career?
It's hard. It's really hard to. I just hate to draw comparisons to anybody. Every secondary is unique. Every defense is unique that I've ever coached. I think there's a lot of cohesiveness on this group because I think they get along so well. I think they have. I just think the whole defense does. I really like the chemistry of this entire defense, and the secondary is certainly a part of that.
Dean, we won't get to talk to you until Wednesday. It's Brady and the Patriots getting there, but how much fun will that be? But at the same time, how critical will these practices be with the Patriots?
Well, on both accounts, one, it's a lot of fun because I'm great friends with Josh and Bill and the guys that are still there. There's quite a few guys that have departed. There's a lot of change in the staff from when I was there, almost 10 years ago. But still, Bill and Josh and all those guys, it'd be great. And the team's obviously changed a lot. Tom's still there, and there's a couple guys, Patrick Chung and a few other guys that were there when I was there, and it'll be fun going against them. But then the other part of it too is the second part of your question is it's great going against them. I think they're going against the best, and so there's a lot of things that we'll maybe try out here or do out here, and you're doing it against the best quarterback in ball, and it's just it's a great situation for us.
I know you've got to get work into the camp and obviously getting those preseason games, but how much do you have an eye on the Browns and how much are you looking at that as the day goes?
Well, I think you always look for, especially the opener, but it's not only the opener, it's all your divisional teams. You spend time in the summer, they're never off your mind. The Colts, the Houston, and Jacksonville are never off your mind, but then number one thing is to win the first one, is to win the first game. And so your opener is always something that's on your mind, and during spring ball, during the summer, and even getting ready, here in training camp. Who, Sharif? Well, he's just the biggest thing him along with a lot of other players is the fact that when you go into your second year of a system, they understand it a whole lot more, the terminology and all those things. Last year was you're coming in and all the terminology is different. Now in his case he was a rookie, so it was different no matter what, but it was really true of the whole defense. And I think the second year, you can go through and install a lot faster because the guys have recall from a year ago. Now the rookies don't, they're still sometimes swimming, but those guys that were here last year, and Sharif being one of them, along with a lot of other guys, I just think they have all picked it up from a year ago and been able to work a little bit more on their actual craft of playing their position rather than sitting around trying to think, okay, what does this mean? What does this verbiage mean, and how do we play this? And so hopefully that'll pay dividends. Both really, I think they're playing really hard. Here's the thing about it. I think those guys is that, what we're really trying to evaluate, and Mike's made it very, very clear, what we want is a bunch of guys that love football and want to play hard and work hard. We know they're going to make mistakes. There's a lot of learning involved. But the thing of it is, if you're playing hard and you're running to the ball and you're doing those things, which Mike preaches over and over to this whole football team, those are the things that you look for. And in both those guys' cases, we're very pleased. He's doing very well. I think all those rookies are. you know, like I say, like anything, there's a lot of, we do a lot. We're not a vanilla team on defense, and so, you know, every day there's a new install, and so he's learning. I mean, it's kind of the second time he's gone through it because we went through all of it in OTAs, and then we kind of come back and do it again all in training camp. But still, that's only 2 times compared to, you know, guys that have been here, or at least even guys that may not have been in our system, but like guys like Woodard and guys like that, Casey, you know, they're used to how the game's being played, and it was kind of good to see Hooker out there going against live action the other night, all those rookies. But the other thing is, I knew a lot about him because Phil Parker, his defensive coordinator at Iowa, he and I coached together, and so I knew a lot about that system that he came from. And there's, anytime you do that, or like Rashawn from Alabama, having worked for Nick, I can kind of tie some things together. This is what this is like when you played in college, so I think that helps a little bit.
How is Byard coming along? I know you had the challenge of evolving it into a more vocal leader. How is he coming along?
I think it's great. I'm very, very pleased with him, as I am with all those guys back there. Again, I think the fact that we've been in the same system now and going into the second year, it's a little easier for those guys to be more vocal because they're more sure of themselves. You know, it's anytime that, you know, you're familiar with something, it's just going to be more comfortable. You're going to play a little faster. You're going to communicate a little faster, and I think you know, Kevin's certainly showing that, along with a bunch of other guys.
Coach, in self-evaluation after preseason game number 1, seemed like there were a lot of good things to take away from that. Was it more good than what you need to work on in terms of a first tune-up, knowing that you got 2 good teams to face in the next couple of weeks?
Well, you know, it's I've learned over the years, it's never as bad as it looks, and it's never as good as it looks. You know, you always walk away from things thinking, boy, I thought we played well, and then you watch the film and go, nah, I don't know, maybe they played bad. And then sometimes you look at the film and say, we didn't play very well, and we actually played better than you thought. There were good and there were bad. And it's great that we get 2 teams coming up here in preseason with New England and Pittsburgh and Chicago, too. We're facing 3 real good teams in preseason. It'll be a great challenge, but it'll be also great for us to be able to try to do some things and see how they look.